Oh, hi. So, I wanted to make this quick audio. I'm glad this young lady has been so patient. She asked me this earlier this year. I would say maybe about a couple of months ago. And she wanted to know about dreams. She said that when she dreams, they always seem to come true. Now, I'm not sure if she's able to lucid dream. Lucid dream is that when you're in a dream, and I'm going to talk about what a real dream is, but when you're in a dream and then you realize that you're dreaming and you start acting as if, you are in waking life like the external world because you realize it's all a dream. So that's a lucid dream. And then when you lucid dream like that, when you're aware that you are inside of a dream, when you know you're dreaming, and you can change your situation, especially if it's a situation in the external world, the physical world that you're not happy with. Then when you lucid dream, you can like change certain situations, and it'll come to pass in the physical world. But I want to talk about what a dream is. Okay, I've said a few times that the external world is not really real. It's an illusion. It's a controlled hallucination. It's one of those deals where when multiple people agree on the same thing, consciousness, which is what we are, then a reality is created. We see things in our physical world is created, okay? And that's why I've said before that a lot of us live in different worlds. So when I hear people talk about, oh, our society, everybody don't have the same society because everybody don't agree on the same things. People's thoughts create that outside world, that physical world. And if you come into an area where a group of people don't believe in none of that stuff, then it's going to be a completely different society. Okay, but the external world is not real. So, to be honest with you, when you think you're awake, you're actually sleeping because the dream world is actually the real world. That is what's really happening. Now, don't get me wrong. You might see strange things like if you eat a bunch of junk food, be careful what you watch. The last thing that you watch, be careful what it is. Be careful leaving your TV on. Be careful who you're around. But then again, that's still the real world because what you're taking in is you're seeing it in the spirit realm. The dream world is basically the spirit realm. And to dream of those things, people call it your subconscious. Well, that's still the yin realm. That's still the spirit realm. Okay. The dream world. Okay. So when you hear psychologists say, oh, the dreams is what is in your subconscious, well, because of especially the Western world, because they couldn't reveal to you the truth, because you had rulers that had to keep the truth from you. So when you hear psychologists say, "Oh, it's what's in your subconscious," well, yeah, that's still the spirit world. That's still the dream world. It's still the same thing. It's not different. They're just using the wording different. And so that's why I talk about meditation and going within a lot. That's not to say not to be balanced in your external world, but paying too much attention to a world that's fake is problematic. And that's something that we all struggle with, especially when you work a lot and you have family. There's too much attention to a world that's not even real. Literally, as I'm talking to you right now, I'm sleeping. We're really sleeping. We're not awake. If you listen to this audio, you think you're awake because you're in the physical world, but you're really sleeping. You're not awake at all. And then when you go to sleep, you're actually falling awake. You're waking up when you sleep. When you dream about things, it could be different scenes, but it's actually what's really going on in your world. It could be different parallel worlds. It's a lot of stuff. It's a lot that goes in to it. And so I kind of hesitated on making this audio because there is so much to break down with dreams, you know, and I didn't feel, you know, that I mastered the subject enough to talk about it, but I do know enough to say something that somebody can learn from. I do know enough to do that. And so, with that being said, yeah, so the dream world is really the real world. It is really what's going on in the subconscious. It's going on within your parallel worlds. It's what's actually going on in the spirit world. Even if you see what's going on with somebody else that might have nothing to do with you, okay? Premonitions, stuff like that, prophecies. And the external world, then you see it play out in the external world because you know the saying that everything starts first in the spiritual, then it turns around and play out in the external world because it starts in the physical world because it starts first in the spiritual. The spiritual world is the real world, and that's why I talk about focusing on things that you want, especially with this vortex that has opened up today. Focus on what you want and not give too much attention to people who want to fuss about nothing, especially because my audience is mostly Black women, especially the Black sector of YouTube. I think it's just best not to listen to them. You're better off listening to these doomsday preppers than listening to these folks on YouTube. Not to say that the doomsday, they a lot of them kind of operate in fear. What I'm saying is at least you're getting some valuable information from them. At least you might learn something. You know, they might talk about something that you might want to go and buy, and it might be useful, you know, for the next 20 years. At least you get something out of at least watching a doomsday prepper, even though a lot of them operate in fear. You get something out of them. But the Black sector of YouTube is just, it's like I said, it's worse than eating McDonald's. It really is. And so I don't even want to give them too much life anymore. I don't even get frustrated with them. I realize that they're zombies, and I do better talking to a gecko. Okay? Okay, but anyway, yeah, so that's why I say it's best to go within, not to pay too much attention to your external world, and to focus on things you want, because when you focus on things you want, you store those things in your subconscious, which is the spirit world, and it eventually manifests within the physical world. Same thing, dream world, okay? So with that being said, yeah, so the young lady, I hope she don't mind me calling her name, Hecate, Queen of the Vampires, requested me to talk about this some time ago, but I wanted to get a little bit more familiar with the subject because I knew a little bit then, but I know more now. And so, yeah, that'll be it for this. And I will come back with some more commentary. I will talk to you soon. I'm going to be talking about the Sibyls. The first thing I'm going to talk about when I talk about the matriarchy and Black women is I'm going to talk about the Sibyls. And the reason being is not to romanticize anything, although we are back in the... Remember, there's really no such thing as time. Time is an illusion. We go by cycles. We are back in cycle 1. That is the time of the Sibyls. So I think it's the right time to learn about those group of women because we're back in that time. Those gifts are showing back up, especially in Black women. That's why you see a lot of them awakening. Some are not going to make it. They're not supposed to make it. I'm going to talk more about how the very first enemy of the Black woman was the Black woman. We're going to get more into that. Yeah, we'll get more into that. And so the Black women that you see right now that's just trying to destroy other Black women that want to divest and live carefree, they are a part of the rebellious matriarchy. They are the ones who rebelled. That's that same energy. I'm not gonna say I believe, I know. Everything is energy. So all of this about it was a long time ago. No, time is just an illusion brought on by this last cycle that's no longer going to rule the world anymore. So time is an illusion. We go by cycles, and energy never dies. And these same women are holding on to that same energy. They want to keep this toxic patriarchy in place. When I say toxic, I'm talking about this Black pimparchy. They're fighting hard to keep it in place because those are some of the same energies, and that's what I'm going to call it. Those are the same energies from back then that kicked off this, unfortunately, it was black women that helped to kick off. They started patriarchy, and the first patriarch was the black man, and it was the black women who rebellious matriarchs who helped to kick that off. Okay, so I'm gonna get more into that. The more I learn, the more I'll say to you. And with that being said, I will talk to you soon.